This video is for my honors art final project. It's my final commitment to the final year of my high school career. I struggled to think of what to do with this project. Then I realized it could be anything. By this, I mean nothing physical, but nothing physical could still be something, right? Sometimes you just can't come up with generative ideas when you need them, but they spark randomly. Inspiration doesn't come by demand, not by deadline. That's ridiculous, you can't rush it. But I think inspiration does come from somewhere or something, not from nothing. It could originate from a hobby. It could be a scene you saw from a Netflix or YouTube, or a movie. Maybe someone told you something. It might even be a spur of the moment encounters. What can I say? Do it. Follow your heart. Follow those spur of the moment inklings. Take out a camera. Go on a trip without plans. Talk to new people. Do something that doesn't even make sense. Or make a video or of whatever you're thinking right now, like me. You're gonna get something exciting, or maybe you won't, but that doesn't matter. Although I didn't know what to do for this semester's project, I didn't do nothing. As college applications ended and my schedule became loose, I began to venture out. In Guangzhou, I went to 3 different parts of the city: the old, the new, and the colonial part, which used to be British. Wherever I went, I brought my camera with me. In Huizhou, I drove by the seaside highway and discovered an old town not far from the coast. As cars and motorcycles rush about, ordinary people are just living ordinary lives, finding peace in the noise. I took pictures of places I encountered, paying extra attention to areas where the old and new collide. In Hangzhou, I went to the famous Lingyin Temple and took a few great shots there. The color of the light that they laid emphasis on the texture of the roof tiles and captured a gloomy, quiet feeling. I also went to many hotels as I traveled. The Capella Shanghai building merged 2 distant types of architecture in harmony. The Park Hyatt Suzhou is a modern building surrounded by traditional Chinese landscape gardens. Each hotel I visited was its own kind of masterpiece, living in a museum full of history and art. These collections of pictures document experiences in my life, and I'm proud of every one of them. However, they feel too loose and unfocused to be compiled as a whole. They have their own themes and identities, while my biggest collection focus was hotels. I didn't feel comfortable presenting them as my work, as they document work by great designers and architects. With that, I opened a Chinese social media account dedicated to sharing my photography and showing these amazing places. The creative work that brought me the most excitement this semester was my chapel talk. When Ms. Zhang Ted, my advisor, told me there was a chapel spot after spring break, I didn't think much and said yes. I didn't think about what I would do until spring break started. I thought, why not make a video sharing my hobbies of traveling and photography? I discovered 400 gigabytes of travel videos I took on my hard drive that I had never used for a project before, so I just went for it. The thrill of the compressed deadline ignited me. I did some research on YouTube searching for inspiration. I wanted to make a Johnny Harris and vlog style video narration, but also wanted some aperture feelings. Those are great channels that I recommend in terms of story narration, but I also added much of my own video style that I explored in earlier projects this school year, like the still pictures that were presented, the double camera perspective, the video montage, and more. I reached out to Dr. Greco to write my introduction and to offer feedback on my script and vision as I worked. I completed my chapel talk while traveling. I wrote my script in Guangzhou and Hangzhou, recorded the speech in Shanghai, and edited the whole thing in Chengdu. It premiered while I was in Chongqing. Traveling makes me more creative and productive. When I travel, I am continually in motion, switching places, switching emotions, switching mindsets, switching ideas. This constant refresh is critical in bringing me out from a stagnant fog. My chapel talk was the longest video I had ever made, and it was also my most successful one. while I put in so much work, I got more than I expected in return. I received a lot of positive feedback. Teachers were commenting and sending me emails, and friends were sending me congratulatory texts. Then I heard Mr. Zaney and Mr. Hansen were having their classes watch a video and write reflections. It turns out the whole freshman class watched a video. I was shocked and flattered. I used to have C's in my comp class, and now they're learning from a video. I felt jubilant. So many people are now enjoying my stories. The ability to influence another is the greatest self-achievement. Last semester, I was also confused about what to do for my honors art. I was staying in an apartment in Hangzhou. It was small and basic. I was away from home and ate delivery food every day. Trash, clothes, books, and electronics were stacked everywhere. It was a total mess. And I didn't go out often. It wasn't because of quarantine. There were no COVID cases anymore at the time. I was working on college applications and classes. And there was nothing better than enjoying air conditioning inside during a hot summer. Although I was no longer staying in because of quarantine, I began to think about people who have been, or often do, live in similar circumstances. University students in their dorms, office workers, Japanese otakus, who knows. Living like in quarantine in not a quarantine time is also something interesting. Moreover, even in such a small and managed space, I could find something to make out of it. The stuffed bear, the mirror, the clothes hangers, the daily Starbucks, the Polaroid, the screens. So I began to make a record of my space with motions and stills. To me it was good, but not satisfying work because it felt unfinished. I originally planned to release a longer version with voiceover, but never achieved it. Yet, I received positive feedback anyways. People found it interesting and beautiful. A beautiful mess. The positive feedback gave me a lot of encouragement and built enthusiasm in me to keep working in this way. In our class, we watched a video about artist Christian Marclay, who suggests that great artwork should be some sort of combination of the visual and the audible, or more. This year was special, not only because I have been away from school and away from home most of the time, but also because I, like a lot of people this year, was challenged by my circumstances. Half of the school year I was staying in one place, and the other half of the school year I was traveling from city to city, always on the move. I was challenged to explore different lifestyles and challenge myself to try new art styles, transitioning my still photographs to motion pictures to visual storytellings. All of these experiences together are what motivates me right now. Inspiration comes from everything. My camera, my surroundings, travel, architecture, history, YouTube, art, encounter with others, sometimes deadlines, collaboration, sharing, feedback, and recognition. It's fun and exciting.